એમના એક ઉઠાણાનો જવાબ ગુજરાતના 6 કરોડ નાગરિકો और मैं गुजरात की सेवा करता रहूंगा। 6 करोड़ गुजरातियों के मुझ पर आशीर्वाद है और वो आशीर्वाद बने रहेंगे, मेरा पूरा विश्वास है। इतना आशावादी इंसान हूं जीवन में कि मेक और ब्रेक की फिलॉसफी मेरी जिंदगी का हिस्सा ही नहीं। ગુજરાતનો જય જયકાર થાય, ગુજરાતનો ડંકો વાગે, એના માટે સફળતાપૂર્વક આપણે પ્રયાણ કરતા રહીએ। મારા ગુજરાતનો કોઈ પણ યુવક અગર ધંધો રોજગાર કરવા માંગતા હશે અને એને જો બેંકમાં જામીનગીરીની જરૂર હશે તો નરેન્દ્ર મોદી તમારો જામીન કરવા તૈયાર છે।
Almost an obsession for Narendra Modi.
Repeatedly referring to the census count of Gujarat's population in all his speeches.
That's right. And even if a reference is to be made on a national issue, it's invariably linked with Gujarat.
We now take a look at how Narendra Modi strikes that delicate balance between Gujarat and rest of the world, and also what the common man on the ground thinks about it.
A look into the Times Now archives, and we found multiple occasions where people hailed the Gujarat Chief Minister. In fact, some Chief Ministers placing him over themselves.
अकेला ये गुजरात का चुनाव मैं छत्तीसगढ़ से चल के आया हूं। मुझे अवसर मिला छत्तीसगढ़ में दूसरी बार मुख्यमंत्री रहने का। 9 साल मैंने छत्तीसगढ़ में मुख्यमंत्री की हैसियत से काम किया, मगर विकास की जिस परिभाषा को, जिस संभावनाओं को गुजरात की धरती में नरेंद्र भाई मोदी ने जिस प्रकार से उतारा है, मैं आपको इस बात को कह सकता हूं कि गुजरात की इज्जत, गुजरात का स्वाभिमान और गुजरात का गौरव किसी व्यक्ति ने बढ़ाया है, उस व्यक्ति का नाम मैं एक व्यक्ति का नरेंद्र भाई मोदी का ले सकता हूं।
एक चमत्कार नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने किया है। गुजरात की विकास दर लोग आश्चर्य करते हैं। 10% से लगातार विकास दर ऊपर रहे। खेती की विकास दर और 12% के पार जाए, ये भारत में कल्पना नहीं थी लोगों की, लेकिन जो सोचा नहीं था वो करके दिखाया है श्रीमान नरेंद्र मोदी जी।
A sense of how a perception battle is fought and won is clear from these two instances. Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit praising development in Gujarat and drawing flack from her own party.
गुजरात में कार्य हुआ, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है बस। और उनकी सरकार चुनी जाती है। क्यों सरकारें बार बार आ रही हैं? क्योंकि वो विकास करती है। जैसे मैंने असम को आपको दिया कि नहीं उदाहरण दिया, उसी का दिया कि वहां पर भी कार्य हुआ, इस वजह से सरकार। तो इस युग का अगर जो कोई मापदंड है कि सरकारें कैसी होनी चाहिए, तो वो सरकारें की आवश्यकता है जो काम कर से विकास कर सकें, निर्माण कर सकें।
And Congress MP Vijay Dadda going a step further, calling Narendra Modi a tiger.
That's a very, very big if, and we just don't know as we speak. But if you look at the shape of things in the last few weeks, even if he wins, 117 is the figure that the BJP now has. If he wins anything short of 117, even if he wins one seat less than 117, he has a problem. If he wins 117 or he still has a problem. But it's only if he wins more than 117 does he have a smooth progression to Delhi. But even that progression is still so very much in the air. We just don't know. If you look at the incidents of the last few weeks where there's been a concerted effort to get rid of Nitin Gadkari, if you look at the kinds of vibes that have been built around all the people who are trying to protect Nitin Gadkari or to oppose Nitin Gadkari, it tells you that what is happening in the BJP in Delhi is essentially and largely a result of the fear of Modi.
So he went to win them over, and after that he turned the discourse towards development and to widen the ambit of his appeal. And 2007 it seemed to work. Now he wants to widen it further, he wants to reinvent himself, and we've seen that with the yatras he's carried out last year, Sadbhavna Yatra, Vivekanand Yatra. He's throwing the net wider now with his eye on Delhi.
When Ratan Tata moved from Singur to Gujarat, he said he had made the transition from bad M to good M, from Mamta to Modi. Earlier he had said that you are stupid if you are not in Gujarat. And that was amid a corporate frenzy to see Modi as the Prime Minister. Clearly then, his 6.5 crore Gujarati pitch always has had a national undertone.
A few recent examples are when Modi took Sonia Gandhi on directly on the issue of her foreign travel.
80 करोड़ रुपए का खर्च हुआ है।
उन्होंने कहना कि सबकी किसे मोदी ने भी ये कहा भी अखबार में आपके ट्रैवलिंग का खर्चा 1880 करोड़ आया है। ये भ्रम फैल रहा है, आपने क्लियर कर देना चाहिए। अच्छा होगा लोगों के दिमाग में से भ्रम निकल जाए। हमारा कोई एजेंडा थोड़ा है।
कांग्रेस के मित्रों को मैं सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या कांग्रेस के मित्र ये सही नहीं है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी की अध्यक्षा श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी, उन्होंने पिछले 3 साल में जो विदेश भ्रमण किया है, उसके पीछे सरकार की तिजोरी से 1880 करोड़ रुपए का खर्च हुआ है। 1880 करोड़ रुपया, यानी करीब करीब 2000 करोड़ रुपया।
If Modi gets a convincing win, that is if he gets 117 or more than that in Gujarat, he will make a bid for Delhi. And I think the BJP leaders will find it very difficult to stop him then. He will try and take Nitin Gadkari's position. He will make a bid to be party president, which is what people are now talking about internally. And or no matter what the designation, some are saying he will be made the head of the campaign committee and the party president will be either Gadkari or somebody else. Whatever be the position, once he is on the national stage, he will campaign in a way that it will be, he'll be setting the agenda.
Almost any big function that takes place outside Delhi where Narendra Modi is an invitee becomes a Modi show. Take for instance the Chief Minister's meet that took place in the national capital to discuss the NCTC issue.
देश के कुछ राज्य के मुख्यमंत्रियों के आग्रह के कारण आज एनसीटीसी इसी एक विषय पर मुख्यमंत्रियों की बैठक बुलाई गई थी। देश के जो सभी बड़े राज्य हैं जहां मैक्सिमम पॉपुलेशन है उसके बहुतेक मुख्यमंत्रियों ने यानी कि उस राज्यों ने एनसीटीसी का विरोध किया है। मैं भारत सरकार से आग्रह करूंगा कि इसे वो प्रतिष्ठा का विषय न बनाए और राज्यों ने जो मांग की है उसको स्वीकार करते हुए इस प्रपोजल को ड्रॉप करें, रोल बैक करें।
Parts of Gujarat may have done very well, parts of Gujarat are doing very badly. I heard very prominent voices recently on television saying the rich have become richer in Gujarat, but the poor, they haven't prospered under Modi. And that's a matter for the media to investigate, report, for social scientists to investigate and write on. But those are things that will continue to roll out in the context of the election.
To the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas that was hosted in Rajasthan recently, where NRIs not only praised the Gujarat Chief Minister, but also criticized UPA's perceived policy paralysis.
There are huge number of hindrances because the BJP is not going to go it alone. The second rung of BJP leaders, none of them want Modi. There could be several ways in which Modi could become the candidate. The infighting among the second rung would mean an outsider comes to power. But even so, I don't think the gains that the BJP will garner in terms of votes that accrue to the party from Modi, the individual, make up from the loss of allies and alliances because of Modi as their leader. So in that sense, in 2014, I seriously think that we are not looking at the possibility of Modi as the PM being projected by BJP. I do see that 1 or 2 years from now, if we have a ragtag coalition government coming up, things falling apart at the center, then there might be an inevitability to the Modi phenomenon, the strong man who can deliver, etc., the image he's crafted. There is no other alternative. So I don't see Modi as the figure of the BJP in these elections, but if these elections don't throw up a clear result, if there is a coalition which doesn't hold together at the center, then 2 years from now, if we have elections again, yes, that is when I see a Modi possibility much more likely.